was satisfied with his maiden victory.
Long day in the seats, but it seemed to pay off, so we're very grateful for the result.
Next up, let's take a look at Class T, which remains one of the most cost-effective entry points to the sport of rally raid racing. With that said, the entry list for round 1 was limited, with a similar situation at round 2. Even so, it was Hendrik du Plessis who drew first blood ahead of Nico Nienober, as the championship standing showed. Du Plessis, who pilots a blue and orange Ford Ranger, made his Sugarbelt debut this year, and the Class T driver had a very clear plan for the weekend.
It's our first time here. My dad warned me because they raced here a long time ago.
In the end, only 2 Class T cars took the starters' orders for the Sugarbelt 400, with Du Plessis and son Heinrich trading blows with Skalkberg and Henk Janssen van Vieren in their King Price Extreme VW Amarok. Once the dust had settled after the shortened Pirelli qualifying race, it was Berger who took pole position, but only by a single second. Clearly a tight race was on the cards for these 2 crews. And this makes it official. Berger and Janssen van Vieren took the win, with the Du Plessis pairing just a second back. Berger and Du Plessis were both in the mood for a fight, but unfortunately for both races, this fight never materialized. The father and son pairing of Hendrik and Heinrich du Plessis are fairly new to the sport of rally raid racing, and on this occasion they saw the ugly side of Lady Luck, who forced them to throw in the towel midway through the day. This left Skalkberger Jr. and his navigator Henk Janssen van Vieren as the only competitors left in Class T. But Berger's fight was with the route and the challenges that the sugarcane presented. On this occasion, the big man emerged victorious as the King Price Extreme Volkswagen Amarok returned to Eston. 6 hours and 16 minutes behind the wheel gave the pairing a decent overall result, as well as claiming victory in Class T. All in all, a good day behind the wheel for the King Price Extreme team principal.
First time out, win the class, yeah, that's impressive.
Onto the crews in Class G, also known as the side-by-sides or sideys. These open-wheeled machines are deceptively quick in the right hands, and when it comes to crews that can extract the best from their Can-Am Mavericks, there's no shortage in the SARC. The surname Mostert has become synonymous with this class, first with Vanna Mostert and brother Leon chalking up some victories, and more recently with Vanna's son Ian reading the notes. For 2023, the father and son have swapped seats, and it seems the plan is paying off, as they nailed the first win in this year's championship. After the opening round, it was Mostert who led ahead of Glenn Theron and Ewald van Rensburg. We had a chat with young Ian prior to the start of the Sugarbelt 400.
We had an amazing start with a first place early in the year, so hopefully we can keep it up.
As it panned out, the Mosterts were sidelined by mechanical problems and would face an uphill battle during the main race. A similar fate befell Jeff Minott and Gerard Sneeman in the hydro power equipment Can-Am Maverick. In the end, 4 of the 6 Class G crews completed the Pirelli qualifying race, with Francois Neil de Wit going 4th fastest. They had lost more than 25 minutes due to some technical difficulties, none of which plagued the top 3 crews in the class. Glenn Theron and Craig Galvin in the Moto Netix machine posted a time of 19 minutes and 34 seconds, good enough for 3rd. They were bested by Theo Erasmus and Edward Woodendam, who went 5 seconds quicker. But were in turn outdone by Ewald van Rensburg and Johan Skippers, who took pole position with a margin of 2 seconds.
From flames and from smoke, it was a no-go definitely, so I think we'd rather play it safe. We're here for tomorrow and we'll give it our best.
And there you have it, Van Rensburg on top, followed by Erasmus and Theron. The route on the race day of the 2023 Sugarbelt 400 was always going to present a tough challenge for the smallest cars, with the least amount of power in the field. But don't be fooled, the little sideys are light, which means they're quick to reach their top speeds. They also handle well and can brake on a dime, and when you add all of those things together, they make for rather quick little race cars. Climbs between the Class G warriors are usually close, and the Sugarbelt was no exception. And after a tumultuous 350 kilometers, new winners emerged in the form of Ewald van Rensburg and Johan Skippers after 6 hours and 33 minutes of racing, converting their pole position into a race victory. But it was rather close, as a mere 80 seconds was all that separated them from a charging Jeff Minott and Gerard Sneeman in their hydro power equipment Can-Am Maverick. Youngster Ian Mostert and father Van in their Motonetics Racing Can-Am battled traffic and motion sickness to earn the points that came with their third place in Class G. That will see them keeping their lead on the points table. Their teammates, Glenn Taron and Craig Galvin, in a similar Can-Am finished 4th in the class and were 8th overall, with Francois Neil de Wit the very last finishers. They were 5th in Class G. The team broke down and took a 10-hour penalty to be able to continue, and they made it to the finish. Unfortunately for Theo Erasmus and partner Edward Oendal, they didn't reach the end. There were happy moments on the winners' podium for Class G victors Ewald van Rensburg and Johan Schippers, who got to spray the bubbly from the top step.
Tough event. We really battled today. It was tough. We pushed through.
The scoreboard revealed that it got mighty close in the end, with Minute and Sneeman getting to within 2 minutes at the end, with the Mosters climbing all the way up into the final podium spot. Class A features a host of powerful open-wheeled monsters purpose-built for cross-country racing. Tim Howes has been a stalwart of the class and is also the defending champion. As befits a champion, he took victory at the opening round of the season and now heads up the title chase. Loet de Pre was in second after round 1, with Eugene Beerman in third. We had a quick chat with Haas before he set off for his qualifying race in Eston.
We race our own race and we do what we can, and if that's good enough to win, fantastic.
This time round, 6 Class A cars took the starters' orders at the Sugarbelt 400, with Trace Price-Moore and co-driver Gareth Aston, as well as Keith and Andrew Makanete, adding their names to the list. But it was a tough qualifier for the Makanetes, who failed to complete the shortened route. In the end, Beerman and co-driver Peter Visser went 5th fastest, 1 minute and 20 seconds behind John Thompson and co-driver Maurice Zematin in their Zarco Challenger. They were beaten for the first of the podium spots by Trace Price-Moore and Gareth Aston in their stunning Bat Venom, while Loet de Pre and Nick van Zyl took second place in their Farmers Meet Striker. But the man on pole position was none other than defending champ Tim Haas, with Gary Campbell reading his notes.
I lost the clutch, so every time we had to stop, we stalled, but got it going and managed to get to the end and had great fun.
And here are the numbers. The qualifying race saw Haas take pole yet again, followed by Dupree and Price-Moore. Next up, the main event. The Sugarbelt saw a few stalwarts of the sport return to action, but unfortunately for the likes of Keith and Andrew Makanete, it wasn't a fairy tale return, as they were forced to the sidelines, as was the Farmers Meet striker of Loet de Pre and Nick van Zyl, who also failed to reach the finish. Someone who did reach the finish in spite of picking up a 40-minute penalty along the way is another veteran combination of the sport, John Thompson and Maurice Zematin, who returned after taking some time off. The crew were rewarded with a fine 4th place because the final podium spot in class belonged to Eugene Beerman and Peter Visser, who raced hard to complete their first Sugarbelt as a pairing. Their time was 6 hours and 20 minutes. That also included a fair share of drama along the way, but not as much drama that characterized the fight for overall Class A and Special Vehicle honours. This fight was between fellow Italians Tim Haas and Gary Campbell and Trace Price-Moore and new navvy Gareth Aston. The latter started the main race on Saturday in second place behind the pace setters and Special Vehicle Championship leaders Haas and Campbell. The tight corners, challenging navigation and testing routes typical of the event, as well as a 40-minute penalty, did not stand in the way of the team taking their first category and Class A victory, with a total time of 6 hours and 9 minutes. The defending champions Haas and Campbell suffered various mechanical issues, including racing without a clutch and with a broken rear shock absorber, but still finished in style as the category and Class A runners-up, 2 minutes and 11 seconds behind the winners. There it is, the scoreboard confirming the 2 minutes and 11 seconds between first and second after a drama-filled race in the top class of the Special Vehicle category, with Beerman rounding out the top 3. And it must have been bittersweet to celebrate victory from the top step of the podium for Price-Moore.
No, fantastic. A great race, quite tough. Tight corners and all that, but what Sugarbelt gives to us, it was awesome.
And a quick congratulations is also in order to Grant Watkins and navigator Mark Irvine, who were behind the wheel of the only Class P special vehicle in the race. But to finish first, you must first finish. And they did. And with that, we move on to the big boys at the head of the field. This is Class T1 Plus, where